few years ago.
I never wanted anyone or anything the way I want you, girl. I think I'm over my head.
Hey everybody, this is Kissel. Welcome to my home, and I'm sitting down with RedCowHills. For me, growing up in country music, it came naturally because growing up in northern Alberta, Canada, my parents and grandparents have been ranching cattle in our family for over 100 years. So anything that talks about riding the range and chasing cows and waking up early and all those topics that are found in country music, we lived it. And my grandfather was a big influence in my career and still is to this day. And I would sit on his knee as a little kid driving in the tractor, and he would sing to me all the classic country songs. Johnny Cash was one of his favorites, and Fair and Young and Marty Robbins. And so for me, as a little kid, I was just immersed in that music. 6 years old, I got my first guitar Christmas time from my grandmother, and I've kept every single guitar I've ever been given or I've ever purchased. And so she got that for me at Christmas time, and by the time it got to my 7th birthday, I was ready for an upgrade because I just wouldn't let it go and I was wearing it out already. I think I'm just over 50 guitars, which is crazy. I'm proud of it, but I'm kind of embarrassed about it too because I might be on TLC's My Strange Addiction, because upstairs, I've got about a dozen guitars there, and back home at my mom and dad's cattle ranchers, I think there's close to 30 guitars there. I've only got about 20 with me here in Tennessee. Each guitar kind of serves a purpose. I've got a really good Les Paul that I play on stage, sponsored by Gibson. I love it. This Gibson guitar is called the J100, and she's a beauty. But when it comes to just kind of picking around at home, I got this little Martin guitar, and it's an OM retro. It's kind of what Hunter Hayes plays. He's got a custom made. Martin didn't give me a custom yet, but this is probably my favorite to play around home. I can dabble on mandolin a little bit of banjo, and I've always wanted to play piano. I think girls find that very attractive when a guy can sit down and play piano. So for that fact alone, I'm trying to learn. My wife Cecilia has been a gigantic part of obviously my life and my career. I met her at a concert that I was doing back in our hometown, and I know for a fact that she got the last 2 tickets in town, her and a friend. And I remember everything that she wore and exactly what she looked like that night. So I let the band play a few extra solos, and I hopped off the stage and I asked her to dance with me. And I don't know how I had the courage to go and do that, but the stars aligned. I did. She said yes to a dance, and then we just exchanged information. But that's this day of social media. We were talking on Facebook all the time, and then I finally got her number, and then we were texting all the time. And when she moved into Edmonton, the capital city of Alberta, where I lived at the time, we just really hit it off. I don't know when we started dating, but in 2009, when I was 19 years old, I asked her to marry me, and she said yes, and we've been married for 3 years now. I've been wanting to move to Nashville for many years. It just had to be the right time and the right circumstance. You know this, and everybody in the country music community knows that the hub for all things music are here in Nashville. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't just come down here and just try to wing it. I'm not that kind of guy. So once I signed my management deal with Bob Doyle on Music Row, and I got a publishing deal with this company, Major Bob Music, that's when it was finally the time to look at getting a place and look at planting some roots here in Tennessee. Yeah, the current single that's been doing really well for us, actually the video just went #1 on CMT here this week. And it's called 321, and it's a song that I wrote about my wife Cecilia, because in the early stages as a young couple, we didn't get a lot of support because what do we know as a young couple getting married and getting engaged so early in life. So this song was really just about how much I needed to be around her, and that feeling that I had every time that we couldn't be together, you know, just aching and longing to be with her. And of course we want to make it relatable to all the country listeners so that, you know, if they're feeling that way or if they have felt that way in the past, they can relate to this song. Now the music video took a real crazy turn because our director, Sean Silva, he's known for doing epic videos. Some of the videos he's done in the past are just unbelievable. And he wanted to make this like an action movie, which I was all about because, I mean, I love, you know, guns and explosions. And wouldn't you know, we have a 6-7 minute video where I'm tied up, I get beat up, and of course my car winds up exploding. It's a really good video. We've had a bunch of great dates that we've you know, just passed and wrapped up, but I've got one more festival coming up in Dubuque, Iowa. It's called America's River Festival. So I'm really excited to hit the road with Brett Eldridge, who's also on Warner Music. So the two Bretts are going to go out and have a good time. And then I've got a bunch of shows, some big rodeos, you know, back in Canada, the Calgary Stampede. We're going to do that. Got an event with Blake Shelton up at the Cavendish Beach Music Festival in Prince Edward Island. And most exciting is that we're about to announce, and I'll let everybody know on RedCowHills first, that we are doing a tour with Brad Paisley. So we've got 20 dates on his, what he's calling his World Country Nation Tour. So I'm really excited to get that opportunity to go out with Brad. I do, yeah. It's a whiskey called Weiser's Whiskey. It's a Canadian rye.